Tiger King, the Netflix original that could. A docu-series following the lives of various big cat zoo owners and the secrets that go down behind the scenes, involving greed, cult-like behavior, fraud, and murder. With a Hollywood adaptation guaranteed to be on the way, who should fill the boots of these larger-than-life characters? Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Brett here from BamTube TV and... No, I can't. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome to another Let's Discuss video. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's topic, we are going to be casting for the Tiger King movie. Tiger King is a bit of a mystery to me. It went from being just a regular run-of-the-mill Netflix docu-series to probably one of the most popular docu-series of all time, to an absolute global phenomenon that just about everybody seems to be talking about. And with the Tiger King movie well on the way, I figured that I would throw my 2 cents in the mix and let you know who I think would be the perfect actors and actresses to play these characters. Some of these I only have one actor or actress picked to play the character, and those are the ones that I think are the perfect choice, and other ones I have a main one and a backup just in case. So, I see no point in keeping you caged any longer, and yes, I do sleep perfectly fine at night using all of these puns. So, without further ado, let's hop right into things. Alrighty, so I figured it was probably best to get the big dog, or I guess in this case, big cat, out of the way first, being Joe Exotic. Like I said in the intro, I'm going to give you my main pick, but I'm also going to give you a backup in case for whatever reason that main pick couldn't work out. I know a lot of people are actually really wanting Danny McBride to take the role of Joe Exotic, but I really don't think he's a good fit in all honesty. Danny McBride does definitely have the acting chops to take on the role, and I think he could play it really well, but he just doesn't scream Joe Exotic to me. Like, he looks nothing like the character, not even a single slightest resemblance whatsoever to Joe Exotic, and that's why I think he really wouldn't fit. My pick is actually surprisingly someone that I don't think many people have actually said, and that's Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell has had an incredible Hollywood career, okay? He has done plenty of zany roles that could be similar to Joe Exotic, but he's also showcased that he's extremely talented by nabbing himself an Oscar alongside one other Oscar nomination. I think it's a no-brainer. Slap a wig and a mustache on him, a couple of piercings and a few tattoos, give him a crutch, and I believe that you would have the perfect embodiment of Joe Exotic. My backup would be David Spade. He basically just has to play Joe Dirt like he did before. The only thing with David Spade is I don't think he really does have the acting chops. I think he has the look down for Joe Exotic, but I don't think he has the acting chops. Would I love for him to get cast and pull some magic out of his behind and really surprise me? Yeah, I'd love it, but I just really don't think that he has it in him. So based on looks, I'd say David Spade would do a pretty good job if need be, but I think Sam Rockwell would be the perfect choice. Next is the one and only Carole Baskin. I've been hearing rumors that Kate McKinnon has been cast to play her in a movie. I don't think that's a good choice whatsoever, in all honesty. Kind of like everyone's been saying Danny McBride for Joe Exotic. I don't think Kate McKinnon really could do it or should do it. I don't think she has the look. I think she's great. I think she's hilarious. And, you know, I really do like her. But the thing is, she just isn't Carole Baskin in my mind. Who I have picked out as my main pick to play Carole Baskin is actually her SNL and Ghostbusters 2016 co-star, Melissa McCarthy. She could do it, 100%. If you've seen any of her movies, you know that she can do it. She really can play that sort of double side as well of Carole Baskin, right? I can 110% see her wearing all those flowery dresses and that stuff in her hair and doing all the, hey, all you cool cats and kittens and all that garbage. But then, you know, she can also do the flip side and kind of showcase, if they get into it, the darker side of Carole Baskin, right? So I think that she is my main pick. She could 100% do it. Again, watch basically any movie in her catalog. I think she's absolutely hilarious, and I think she would nail the role without even a second thought. My backup is actually Melissa McCarthy's Bridesmaids co-star, Wendy McClendon Covey, or she may now be better known for being the mother in The Goldbergs. Again, I think that she definitely has the look for Carole Baskin, and I definitely think she has the acting chops as well. She's also hilarious, and I do truly believe that she could pull it off, but again, she's sort of my backup, Melissa McCarthy being my main. Next is John Finley, one of Joe Exotic's husbands, Shia LaBeouf. It honestly has Shia LaBeouf written all over it. Shia LaBeouf, the only thing that I'm concerned about is that Shia appears to have a bit more of an oval-like head, while John Finley has a bit more of a circle head. But I mean, I think that Shia LaBeouf would do great. I mean, the guy's already absolutely nuts. Throw a few more tattoos on him, and honestly, I think that he would just willingly pull some teeth. I mean, I heard that he pulled teeth for his role in Fury, and he didn't shower and stuff, so I mean, all he would have to do for this is pull a few more teeth and probably not shower again, and he would do just fine. So he's my top pick. He's already, he's real life crazy, so I think he would definitely do great in this role. My backup actually would be Sean William Scott, best known for the American Pie series. Of course, more recently, I liked him in the Goon movies, but I'm Canadian and I like hockey, so there's that. But, Sean William Scott, I think, is another one that he's kind of known, and I'm not saying this about John Finley, but, he's sort of portrayed as that kind of, toothless, meth-addicted, dumb sort of character. He doesn't seem like he's that now based on the recent interview, but I think that Sean William Scott could definitely do that. Now moving into Jeff Lowe, and I think Michael Madsen was almost born to play this role. Like, they almost sound the same, they look identical. Just throw that white little goatee on him, put a leather jacket over his shoulders, the bandana and the hat, and you're golden, honestly. So Michael Madsen, of course, famously known for being in almost any Tarantino movie, so I think he could definitely do that one. Next is Doc Antle, and this popped into my head as soon as I started watching the show. I didn't really have any idea that, like, everyone else would be thinking the same thing, and this would pretty much be the #1 fan cast. But for Doc Antle, it is 100% Tim Robbins. I'm almost convinced they're the same person. It's kind of like Doc Antle, is an alias for Tim Robbins when he's not acting, or Tim Robbins is an alias for Doc Antle when he's not, zookeeping and running a sex cult and things like that. So Tim Robbins, Doc Antle, basically the same person. #1 pick. Backup pick, though, that I think would be hilarious. He's a funny man. That's what everyone knows him as. And I do think it would be side-splittingly hilarious to seeing him in this role. And that's Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell, not necessarily the most versatile actor, but he'll make you laugh in any way possible. He will ensure that you laugh. So, and he's been known to, of course, change his hair, change his style, change his accent, put on some zany outfits like in Zoolander and things like that. So I think he'd also be fully capable of playing Doc Antle. Next would be Travis Maldonado. At that time, Joe Exotic's other husband, next to John Finley, who has since passed away. Of course, it was a very unfortunate accident. May he rest in peace. But when we're talking about the big screen adaptation, this actor would be most capable of playing the role. But in the same sense, I know he's not overly favored in Hollywood over the last little while based on certain allegations and such. But nevertheless, I think TJ Miller would play the perfect Travis Maldonado. I do find him funny for the most part, not in every role. I don't find all of his jokes really land, but I do think he's a funny guy, and really, if he just plays Weasel, which is his character in Deadpool, and throw a blunt in his mouth, I think he would, he would be Travis Maldonado, reborn in a certain sense. I think that TJ Miller's fully capable of doing something like that. Next is Rick Kirkham. Again, I know a lot of people have different opinions on who should play this one. My #1 pick, Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi, again, he's been known to be a serious actor. He's been known for being in a ton of Adam Sandler movies and really showcasing his comedic sort of background that, he can do comedy as well as do some very serious acting. So I think that he could be excellent as Rick Kirkham. My backup is Ed Harris. Basically, all Ed Harris would have to do is be the exact same character that he was in The Truman Show. For John Reinke, it seems to be everyone's pick, and I definitely agree with that. Matthew McConaughey, I think, would be the pinnacle version of John Reinke. I think even John Reinke wanted him. I can't really remember. My backup is actually Michael Shannon. John Reinke was like one of the best characters on the show. He was the type of character that, took no shit and gave even less. So I think, again, Matthew McConaughey, #1 choice, but Michael Shannon definitely is a solid backup plan. Next is Joshua Dial, who was Joe's campaign manager for a short period of time. Again, this is another one I've seen floating around all over the internet, and I definitely think is the best choice possible, and that's Clark Duke. Spent a little bit of time in The Office, as well as was one of the main characters in the 2 Hot Tub Time Machine films. Yeah, it looks like him, sounds like him, certainly could pull that character off with ease. For James Garrison, Paul W. Hauser would most certainly be the best possible choice. You know him most recently from Richard Jewell, where he showcased that he can be a really, really good actor. But even look at a more comedic role, again, referencing this comedy, his role in I, Tonya, he was kind of just this bumbling mess. So I feel like seeing him on the Sea-Doo going through the water to, Welcome to the Jungle or Eye of the Tiger, something like that would be absolutely hilarious, and I think he could definitely do it. And my backup for this one is actually going to be Haley Joel Osment, most famously known for being a child star, the Sixth Sense, Pay It Forward, Artificial Intelligence, different movies like that. Still does a bit of acting today, nothing major, but I definitely think fits the profile, fits the look. I do think that Haley Joel Osment would be a very sound backup choice. Alan Glover, oh my god, I found, the Hollywood counterpart to Alan Glover, and that's Jonathan Banks. Yeah, Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is basically the Hollywood version of Alan Glover. And, even they're pretty similar. They're like hitmen, not really, spend time in jail, kind of mystical. Same kind of disgruntled demeanor and kind of raspy, deep voice. And now for Howard Baskin, which is Carol Baskin's current husband. When casting this character, the only thing I kept thinking of was that amazing wedding picture. And I don't think that there's anyone that could more accurately recreate that wedding picture than Tony Hale. So yeah, Tony Hale, I think, would be the absolute best possible casting choice for Howard Baskin. I mean, the guy's hilarious in everything he does. He just kind of has this natural comedic prowess to him. And again, you can't look at that just stunning, one-of-a-kind wedding photo and tell me that Tony Hale could not 110% pull that off, so I really don't think anyone could do it better. Eric Cowie, not really a major player, but definitely a recurring character in almost every episode of the documentary series. I think Charlie Hunnam would actually be the best choice. I would love to see him throw on that long blonde wig, kind of get that goatee going and the shades, and, knock a couple teeth out again. Charlie Hunnam definitely could do it. Backup would be Richard Brake. Kind of plays like a sleazy scumbag in most of his movies, but, I'm not necessarily saying that Eric Cowie is that way. I think, he's actually a very, really chill person, but, I think that Richard Brake, again, throw on that wig, could really, really embody Eric Cowie in a movie. Now for Kelsey Saffery, or better known as Saf. Most people don't actually know this, but Saf, because they referenced him as a she and her, is actually a transgender man. So I'm going to be casting male actors as Saf. I think Saf is probably the most relatable, genuine, and chill person on the entire documentary. So, I want Saf to be taken good care of and not really take a backseat in the Hollywood adaptation. I'm really sorry if I butcher these names, and I also want to stress that there's very little information on Saf that I was able to find, so I'm not sure what nationality that he comes from or identifies as. So, but my picks are Feeview. Again, if I butcher those names, I'm so sorry. Feeview, though, an actor best known for Happy Death Day. Not really a major player in that one, but in Happy Death Day 2U, played more of a pinnacle role. I think is the #1 pick and should definitely be playing Saf in the live-action adaptation. But my backup would be Ki Hong Lee, best known for playing Minho in the Maze Runner movies. Tim Stark, #1 pick, Woody Harrelson. Basically just be Tallahassee from the Zombieland movies. Backup, Jackie Earle Haley. So, yeah. And that is all for today's video, folks. Please let me know down in the comments if you agree with my casting choices or who you would have changed and casted yourself. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button, and if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and dinging that little bell icon, that way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. As always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.